We were going to see, so if that wasn't obvious by now. No, but I genuinely have been very impressed by them. I've always known Monkeys Forever is a great player, but you know, it's one thing to step into a team and help them qualify for a major tournament, and it's another thing to kind of, you know, just play pub games and stream and be good at that. So, but he's a great guy, great player, and he's fitting well with this team. But Forward Gaming on the other side, they are the team that went to the major last time around, so hoping for a good series.
What do we think, Kips? Your expertise, what are we looking at here? Are we going to see a full 3-game series? Are we going to see it be a little one-sided?
I've seen like a lot of great things out of CompLexity that I think could match up versus Forward very well. We've also seen Forward stumbling a little bit here and there, you know, rounding out games that could have finished very neatly instead in a bit more of a haphazard way. So I definitely think that there's openings for CompLexity here. There's weaknesses in this armor and they can punch through. So I'm hoping to see a full game, a 3-game series, and CompLexity can take it if it goes that far. But if Forward's in shape, if Forward's playing well, then this might just be a 2-0.
All right, so it depends on which team shows up today, right? If
yes.
You know, luckily it's not a best of one, because sometimes, you know, you get those little.
Could you imagine?
You have that one day where you're just not feeling great. Sorry,
mention best of ones to me.
Let's take a look at the qualified teams though, just to see who they're going to be up against if they make it in.
You know, I was thinking about this as we were showing you guys. Every other region has had at least one new team going to the major compared to the last one.
That's pretty awesome.
So that's good news for CompLexity if they want to keep a trend going here. I'm not saying that's a perfection as far as what we're going to expect, but it is. I was intrigued to find that out.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a big surprise for a lot of us is that OG is going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, they've been struggling though, right? It hasn't. LTW hasn't been like. I mean, nobody is going to be Anna.
Right.
Let's face it, nobody's going to be Anna. We've all seen the memes with, you know, OG at 99% strength and it's just a picture of Anna. It's very hard to measure up to that. And I think if you're OG, like adjusting to different carry players all the time, it's got to be rough as well. So yeah, they're still searching. And I think that they're just going to be searching more in that minor and looking to find a way through that.
Okay, well,
into the major.
We do get a draft going here, though, and CompLexity opening up with the Dazzle right off the bat, followed by the Brewmaster over here for Forward Gaming. So I think those are both on Kips' side. Yep. It's already going. Look at it.
All mine.
I believe Dazzle was banned both games in the previous series, so CompLexity making a point that, okay, if he's going to be left open here, we'll gladly take him. Death Dazzle comes to mind, the offlane Dazzle. I feel like that's a higher probability than even the support Dazzle with this team specifically.
Didn't Limp run a Dazzle?
Did we see a Limp Dazzle? We might have one game.
I think it was Limp.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah.
But so yeah, even more of a reason that we could definitely be seeing more of that core Dazzle once again.
But I like this. This is again what CompLexity did in their last series, right? Is they just built this draft where you were like, who is laning where? What is happening? What is that matchup? And that really paid off. I think they weren't quite sure who to send to what lanes. The Bat Rider pickup too. Again, that could be an off lane. That could be a Monkey's Bat. You've got a lot of wiggle room on this.
Not as potent as the Nature's Prophet in terms of, is that going to be one or the other? I think with CompLexity and Forward Gaming, you know, smart enough to realize this, that you would probably lean towards more of the Monkey's Bat Rider. And I say that mainly because Death, I'm sure he plays Bat Rider as well, but I feel like you want him on a hero that has scaling capabilities. We saw the Nature's Prophet last game. We saw the Brewmaster last game, for example, and then we saw the Nature's Prophet before that. Two heroes that definitely can scale and take over in their own right. Bat Rider's more of this initiator utility. That doesn't seem like the Death playstyle. That's why I even go back to the Dazzle. Maybe not going to take over the game necessarily later on, but he's going to be this aggressive pusher himself in the game.
They could just try to take the ball and run with it, too, if they can get an early game advantage. You know, Dazzle is incredible with the Bad Juju and the Necro Book build. Again, they have a Keeper of the Light, though. Usually, you know, the go-to hero for, like, the D-push sort of thing. But
for stalling things out, yeah.
Now they've got the Will-O-Wisp, too, which can help quite a bit during these fights.
Yeah. What I'm interested to see is that normally CompLexity picked up this Bat Rider after the enemy carry was already known, which in many cases was a melee carry who was really going to suffer from it. And now instead, I wonder, ban out the Lifestealer just to be sure, because he rages off those stacks. Oracle as well, you don't get to take off the stacks, which is they now have to ban to protect this Bat Rider, which is what they haven't really done before, because they don't know what forward gaming is going to bring. So a little bit of a difference there in the draft for Complexity.
Could also be setting up for a Darkseer pick for Complexity in that third spot.
Yeah,
I also noticed the Enigma ban coming up for forward gaming, and then the Lifestealer happening right away. So that's a
popular
reaction
hero
there.
And I gotta say that a surged Bat Rider sounds pretty scary to me.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, either ban it here or pick it themselves. But again, if they pick a Darkseer, then
ban it.
Brewmaster.
I think that's a good call coming out from forward.
Radiant team pick.
And they go for a Faceless Void. All right. Well, if you get the initiation first, there's no problems with that Bat Rider.
We saw them do this yesterday. Were they the one that ran this yesterday, or was that J-Storm? Somebody did. I think it was in that series. But I want to say it was Resolution?
Oh, no, we've seen a couple of Faceless Voids, too. I remember one of the Rubiks actually stole Chronosphere several times and split those fights up really nicely. But
And I think it was with OD Synergy in that case, too.
yeah, I think it was Rezo.
Yeah.
I think it was Rezo.
Yawar on OD.
OD.
Yeah, it was that.
That was a hotly contested hero. In fact, they probably should think about that if they have a Bat Rider on the side of Complexity, because it's very easy to throw the Astral Imprisonment out, and your Bat Rider's not going anywhere.
One of mine, Tuskar.
One of yours indeed. And a little bit of a... Like, Tusk doesn't do as much against Void as you'd really want to. You can't really gank a Void with a Tusk. He's just gonna leap out of your shards.
10 seconds
But Complexity clearly showing here that they want to keep that tempo high.
Yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
Kind of surprised I didn't try to go for something like Elder Titan, right? The synergy with the Dazzle, and then also having that Echo Stomp and Earth Splitter in the middle of Faceless Void Chrono. Depending. But they clearly have a plan.
Elder Titan is bad now, at least.
Oh yeah, he was. Okay, derp.
So-
All right. But it would have been a great pick.
It would have been.
Those
It would
pesky
have
bands.
So,
Yeah, I'm so caught up on the Bat Rider and the Dazzle on whether or not we're going to see one or the other yet. Again, still left open. Keep it like this for now, but
Complexity yet again drafting with complete ambiguity. Forward gaming much more straightforward. Anyway, a lot of team fight coming out from forward as well, which is like going back to the choke point play, that sort of thing. We know that Rezo likes his farm, so in that way it also makes a lot of sense for them just as a team. And I would like to see a little bit more wave push coming out now with their next pickup. Just because if you're only relying on the Coddle to do that, you don't have much chance to keep your Void off map, for example.
This is true. They also still, they better ban the OD. Like, they can't let the OD get through this draft now with forward gaming. Like, it just...
Radiant
You mean for
Wouldn't make-
Complexity?
Yeah, the Complexity can't allow that. Okay, there's your boy Beastmaster.
There's some wave push, there's some tower
So
damage,
there's a Beastmaster and a Brewmaster. We got all the
yeah,
monsters
speed.
here.
support Brew, I would think.
Yeah,
From that,
interesting.
could also still be support Beast though. You're saying support Brew?
yeah, I would think
All right,
support Brew.
let's trade.
10 seconds remaining.
Don't let them get an OD Complexity.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be falling for that at that point. So Complexity looking to pick up their carry, looking to pick up some physical damage now. They've got a lot of slow, they've got a lot of like long-term damage, both with the burn as well with the poison touch. A lot of minus armor from the Dazzle. You want something to synergize with that. They took out the Lifestealer and the Juggernaut themselves though. Sven down as well. All of the strength carries right now down. Side of Complexity.
Yeah, the CK. I was just about to suggest that, but never mind.
Yep.
That's also taken away by them.
CK Tusk would have also been great.
Yeah, trying to think about both a savior for these Chronospheres as well as just these beefy cores that if they do get caught in the Chrono, then they're not as concerned. I guess Tidehunter fits that mold.
Then they're
Pretty beefy.
definitely banning OD now.
And
Yes, they
Wait,
absolutely have.
I'm standing up, but
well, yeah, no, this likely also means it's going to be now a limp Dazzle. That goes back to that.
I was thinking that was going to be the
Yeah.
the case earlier on, but
Radiant team back.
So, got Dazzle mid now. Could still use her safe lane, or it could be Tide mid. Again, we can't overlook that, I suppose. And again, this goes back to, we'll see what the matchup is. Ultimately now, Forward does have the final pick. So they're going to be able to keep that information until the very end.
Yeah. So this is CompLexity just using their time to discuss. I don't see any reason to let the OD through here.
5 seconds remaining.
Phantom Assassin taken out by Forward, so that's good synergy with the Tusk. That would be the physical damage carry, someone who can blow up any targets the Batrider brings in, as well as having a little bit of an escape if that would be necessary.
Unless they want to pick like a Pugna on CompLexity's side. Now, again, that makes your lanes maybe a little funky with like a Tide safe lane then at that point, but...
Pugna could be decent though. Right? You can disarm the Void in the Chrono.
And then that too, yeah, it prevents the OD pick is what I was thinking about it as well.
I don't like it personally, but that's me.
It seems a little too off the wall, yeah. And then it would make your Tide Hunter a position 1 probably, which is...
Now is not the time
maybe
to be doing really experimental drafts, I don't think. This is a spot for the major.
Or is that the moment?
Is that, yeah, you catch the team off guard.
Do you pull an Eternal Envy and pick something completely...
Always experiment with reason.
Tide's really good this game. He's great in a Beastmaster. He's a great reaction to Faceless Void Chronosphere. He's that big ulti cooldown after the other, so...
Void's gonna hate him in lane as well.
And that too, yeah. Yeah, I'm not... I think it's still a possibility.
All right, they are okay.
Medusa.
Luna?
Ooh, they're going for the Luna strats.
Okay. I'm still very confused how they let the OD get through.
Well, so
Maybe
Dazzle into OD
yeah, that is
pretty good.
Is the
but
one
it's just
mid
later
lane.
on.
But yes. So that's what Forward game has to think about now is do we want like a subpar lane matchup for the sake of getting OD's crazy damage into
10
a Chrono?
remaining.
I mean, we've seen what he can do with this hero. Yeah, no even thinking. They just go for it. They said, all right, let's go.
Is this a trap? Well, they do it anyway. So I think that does mean that we're going to indeed see the mid Dazzle. So the lane should be more or less set up like this. Tide Hunter versus Beastmaster. I'm thinking that that's a one lane for Tide most likely.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah. So Radiant, aggro try.
Found a Tide over here.
There we go. So you going for CompLexity with that Tide Hunter pillow? Is that just a happy coincidence?
I don't know. It's just sitting, I guess. Yeah, I'm going with CompLexity. I think obviously the OD Faceless Void combo is dangerous, but I think that Tide's going to do work this game. It's a good reaction to Faceless Chronos, and the mid matchup should favor CompLexity if they run it as we see it right now. So.
Alright, so CompLexity's doomed. Kips, what do you think now?
Probably.
Well,
Sorry,
I'll curse them further then, because obviously later in the game they're going to have issues. The OD is a good save. He matches up well versus the Tide Hunter. You have the synergy with the Chrono, but the problem is that they have both the Void and the OD need farm. They're going to have an aggro tri lane run against them, and the other two lanes look like wins for CompLexity to me. So if CompLexity can play this through on tempo, they can play it out. Put me up for CompLexity.
All right. I'm really on the fence about this because I see OD, I see a Chronosphere, I see like a lot of ways for them to, the Will-O-Wisps on top of that. And I just feel like this OD is going to be so smart. But on the other side of that, like you said, the laning phase looks really good, and that's a big chunk of how things are going to go down. They could recover on the side of Forward, but I'm going to go Forward. I'm going to go Forward Gaming. It's too scary. It's too scary, and these players are very, very good. I think, even if they have a poor laning phase, they're going to recover. So.
All right. You did like the OD pick, and it is, again, great pick for the later game, and back to us.
Yeah, I mean.
All right. Finally, we get the action that we want to see. OD saving himself for now.
All right, GG.
I changed my mind.
I changed my mind. Take
no,
back.
he's fine.
No. Alrighty there. Well.
So who's playing what? It is Monkeys on the bat, Miracle on Luna. So there's Limp Dazzle. Okay, as we expected there, with CompLexity.
This is how it was gonna work out, and then Luna right now, yeah, making their way to that top lane. So they're aggressive tri-laning and forward is dodging for now. That is... Wait, is this a Cuddle Beastmaster lane?
That's old school. Are they going to go the Wild Axis spam?
I would love that. Not gonna lie.
At least. Into a Tidehunter, I mean, it might not be a horrible idea, but...
That's a cool Tidehunter set. I don't think I've seen that one. Is that one of the newer ones?
I want to say it's been around.
I also want to say it's
really
been around.
Okay.
I'm not.
I don't think I've ever seen that at home. That's pretty. That's nice.
I sold all my cosmetics for Artifact.
Oh boy.
I don't want to talk about it.
Valve is listening, guys. No comment.
Clever little block by Z-Freak there, making sure that the creeps on top lane are going to be in range of the tower, and then after that pushing on into the Radiant side instead.
Okay, so this is going to be a rough lane here for UR for a while once he tries to deal with the Dazzle and the spamming, but as I said, I believe that he's going to be able to recover even if he has a poor lane. And do have Death facing off against this Coddle and Beastmaster in the bottom lane.
Yeah, so this is Forward's way of, once again, we've seen Forward do this before, right? Switch supports lane just to make sure that that lane is not lost, but they pay with that by having this full-on aggressive tri-lane into Rezo. Now Rezo can sort of deal with that. He's a Void, he's not the most pressured, but at the same time, he still has 0 last hits right now. So he might not be dying all that fast, but he didn't get any creeps up until that first hit just now.
And even back to the bottom lane, isn't it really even doing a lot? Like, Tidehunter still feels like he's going to be fine. He's not going to be heavy. Maybe the levels will need to be added up for that to really show, but I mean, even right now, he's 5-0 against a 6-2 Beastmaster, so it's not like he's being completely locked down. Yeah, I mean, so far the early decision for Forward seems a little odd, but I mean, CS is fairly close.
It isn't zoning the Tidehunter out completely, but at least the Beastmaster gets to actually.
So it's more of that.
Right
okay, that's true.
SVG might be in for a little bit of trouble here. He's pretty big panda though. Monkey's just trying to harass a little bit. Has a couple stacks. He's got some very tanky people coming out from side of CompLexity here.
Something else is happening in the meanwhile. I'm not sure if we saw this the previous time as well, but the Dazzle has not caught up to the OD quite yet. There's 5 denies on the OD, and there goes another range creep blasted as well.
Yeah, Yawar is doing fantastic. We saw him very comfortable on this hero yesterday, albeit, of course, in a losing effort ultimately, but still, it's one of his more go-to as of late.
Rezo trying to contest a little bit over here, getting some more of those last hits, which he's been very desperately starved of. Be able to time walk himself out of a sticky situation. I'll be here all, well, I was here all week, but don't worry, you'll be rid of me soon enough, guys.
So the lanes for Forward looking like shaping up pretty well, I'd say. And MSS coming in.
Oh, just timing it very nicely. Limp is pretty much out of mana. Does have himself that one mango, but not going to be feeling super good right now. Top lane, looks like SVG is going to be the first blood taken down by that position 5 Batrider.
I feel like that's kind of inevitable, though. You're playing 2 versus 3. You're getting experience with 2 and then with 3. As long as you're not chain feeding on that lane, you should be fine.
Not sure what's going on with this bottom lane, though. Like, you send MSS back, but it's a Tidehunter.
Yeah.
Doesn't really care.
As Kips was saying, it really does seem like it's more about making sure Beastmaster gets great farm, because if this was a true 1 versus 1, Tide would be in the face of Beastmaster, killing the boars, spamming that anchor smash, and probably a very difficult lane.
And Monkey's gonna...
Suicide strat.
Suicide. He has no mana, really, to speak of.
Keeping the lane there as well in the meantime.
Double damage.
And OD gonna find himself a DD. Goes back to mid here. Yeah, it's interesting because, you know, we've seen this lane go very, very differently where the Dazzle is dominating, but OD keeping his own here. For sure.
We didn't talk too much about the Luna pick. Oh my god. That's a stack and a half.
MSS making it rain in the bottom lane.
Yeah. Speaking of Luna, she can make her way over there before that gets taken out. No.
No.
But the synergy with a hero like a Tide as Limp.
Yeah, one more hit and the Illuminate.
MSS, a very active Coddle early on. It's not often you see a Coddle rotating from mid to bottom over and over again.
And he's been able to farm up quite a bit as well, being able to stack for himself and having that Illuminate, so.
Well, with all the supports locked up top in the bottom lane, or in top lane, excuse me, there's not much risk that he's going to get exposed. There's probably no vision down there because they know that the arrows have been top all that time. So he has pretty much free reign to do whatever he wants, which is apparently stacking and being a nuisance.
That's doing it quite well.
Mm-hmm.
Quite well. All right. Oh, mid. Yeah, didn't have a way to cancel that TP, so Yuar says deuces and heads on home.
The snowball must have just came off cooldown right there. Along those lines, because yeah, when he clicked on him right after the TP, it seemed like it was off cooldown.
Is Resolution gonna pay for this rotation though?
6 stacks, jeez.
Taking a lot of damage. Time dilation will be able to use the Q, and they're diving past the tower. Monkey is actually sitting very, very low. The snowball is going to connect, though. Actually grabs Monkey's in, because he actually... I thought he was going to be dead there, but no, they find the kill on Rezo. SVG trading some hits here, but...
Beautifully done.
Yeah.
Man, very nice play.
Taking the tower aggro, especially. Keeping Batrider alive for that kill. But yeah, the point earlier, Tidehunter, you thought he was already tanky before. I mean, again, with that Luna aura nearby, it's going to be extra powerful, but even a harder hitter when it comes to that aura providing plus strength.
So. SS has been busy stacking that camp. We'll make the rotation over to the mid lane. Just going to drop some more vision. Keep tabs on Limp there, and you are making his way bottom.
And you gotta think that with how Death has been playing, he's going to Vlad's first, but that doesn't mean anything necessarily yet. Oh, this OD's got level 6.
He has Ravage.
Yep. Yeah, can they get enough damage down in time? No, he just TPs himself out to the tower. So, a bit of breathing room here for Limp, letting SVG take some of that experience here in the mid lane.
That's a bit odd to me that they actually even went for that, knowing that they didn't have another stopper. Because... And, you know, at this level of play, you'd expect the players are very aware of this, that they're just going to TP out after the Astral Imprisonment.
The OD stuck around bot for a little bit, though.
Okay, for this, maybe.
So, Death is still here. And I think they also just saw that he was still here.
Interesting that they swap around like this, too. I guess, like you said, they do have that big stack over here, so they're just going to take that and... allow OD to soak up some of this XP and... oh, okay. Z-Freak going for the dive there in the mid lane. SVG was himself trying to soak up some experience, could maybe get a couple last hits, but they found that opening. Took him down.
The thing I was wondering about before is if the Tidehunter, seeing as that it's Death, will indeed be going more of that carry build, especially because the Dazzle is a very good, for example, Guardian Greaves carrier as well.
I would like to see that, yeah. I think they could rely, because Luna, I mean, obviously her damage can be pretty intense in the later part of the game, but it seems like it'd be nice to have that Tidehunter be able to dish damage out as well as kind of the more the single target focus.
Mm-hmm.
This is a rotation with the Roar coming out on the mid lane.
So maybe something like even a Solar Crest.
Limp is very far forward.
Oh, this is a good setup for that Roar. There it is. Z-Freak, though, not going to be able to quite land it. There's going to be the Illuminate. Be able to go heal up. SVG still chasing after Z-Freak here. Z-Freak going to get taken down.
It's reacting to the shard block right there. It actually prevented them from going further onto Dazzle, despite the Primal Roar. Those melee heroes, at least.
So I guess you're happy if you're Complexity. You didn't lose your mid-Dazzle. You just lost your Z-Freak.
That's such a great play from him.
Middle tower is under attack.
And Resolution has left his lane looking for greener pastures, and he only finds a Tidehunter. Yeah.
Finds a Watermelon. That's great.
And Monkeys Forever is just chasing after him.
Yo, it's fine, but trying to do a bit of a pull right there, but that's not going to work.
I'm sure he's just very annoyed by everything here.
Well, yeah, he's below his own Kotlin net worth right now. He cannot be happy whatsoever. That said, though, he is OD, won a lane against the Dazzle with like a little bit of support from MSS, but still, that is not too usual to see as a win for an OD.
And there was a game, I don't know if it was a forward game, but I remember we've been bringing up, it's like OD is the damage dealer in this combination here. Like, as long as he's getting farm, you can feel okay, because as long as Chronosphere is going to be online for Faceless Void, that's what really matters. Sure, it's nice for him to be able to deal damage too, but it's not necessarily the end of the world for forward gaming, the fact that Faceless Void is so far behind.
Ooh, I'm going to be able to cancel out, denying that this rune SVG. Gonna get taken down. Too much nuke.
Beastmaster was coming in from the side, though. I imagine Zefreak has to protect
they're gonna go for it. Yeah, they should be able to find this Dazzle. Easy peasy now. Zefreak running himself away. These boards just slowing him down. Snowball coming back out. Will turn over here onto MSS. He releases the Illuminate. He's gonna try. Oh, he's not gonna be able to get that denial here from Mr. Roshan. Universe finding himself a double kill.
Poor slow is so good. It's so much of a stronger slow than I feel like people would give it credit for.
It is ridiculous.
Oh, they used the Ravage in the top lane.
Okay.
Rezo, see you later.
That's a classic combo. Walk up and Ravage with Luna beating him down.
Very
aura,
smoothly
though.
executed.
Yeah, level 4 R. Good point. That's went to level 2 Glaives. Level 4 Lunar Blessing already finished. Look at that, 1860 life with a Vlad's and a Soul Ring.
That's a big boy. Looks like Monkey's having a little bit of issues. Gonna have to reconnect. You can check in with the other heroes here and what they're building. It's gonna be a 4-staff Keeper of the Light.
Yeah, that's the go-to. 4-staff and a Refresher. It's kind of an odd build, but it's, that Refresher is so important to have on Kato. And he can get away with it.
Monkeys is back. Don't abandon your matches, guys. You will be penalized.
Good.
Then you get to play the very fun single draft in low prio, where everybody is extremely toxic. Maybe not everyone. Occasionally you get that one guy whose internet connection is just terrible and he should not be playing Dota.
Yeah. I've been in there with friends who needed saving.
I enjoy single draft. It's funny, you can't find a game like if you queue for single draft, but if you go to low prio with a friend, then everyone's forced to do it. Anyways, Luna sitting at the top of the net worth right now, 5K. Next closest up, of course, is our Beastmaster, 4.3 and 4.2 on Mr. OD, the outstanding dude.
I believe your Mask of Madness is coming out. There you go.
Yep. So she's the big winner of this laning stage, and Miracle's going to be accelerating super fast right now, although none of his supports have really had time to stack for him. So,
well, they stacked bottom, but that was not for him.
Yeah.
He's was very close to getting picked off just now.
Yeah, I wonder what gave that away, actually. Because he was starting to farm, and then all of a sudden he just started moving as if he saw something.
He was getting pinged pretty hard.
Teammate communication there.
And did SVG just manage to place down that ward without getting spotted? In its daytime, there should have been vision on him.
Yeah, they can see Luna up there going for those Ancients, so.
Crazy amount of vision on this mid push. And I don't think there's enough deep push on Complexity to hold this, especially because their Tidehunter is stuck on top lane without a Ravage. So
yeah, he's pressuring tier 2 though, so they're getting something out of this.
They gotta get something.
Yeah, but this is your mid tower.
And that's pretty important. This top tower is right around the Roche pit. Rezo was taking a bath here in the Firefly. Monkey's enjoying his time down here, getting some quality time to farm up a little bit.
They're gonna join the team. They made a call there. It looked like that they needed him up at the top lane. So
Limp gets spotted out by MSS. Gives them a little boop.
They just want the tower. They're just beelining for the tower up here.
Yeah, they're just totally ignoring this Coddle. Coddle's like, hello, I'm here.
Fight me?
Pay attention to me?
The words of Predator.
Nope, nope, nope.
All right, well, interesting movement coming out. Tag team's going to get used over here on SVG. He does have split available. They'll use the Roar, actually, because they don't want Zefreak to be using that snowball and saving his friends and family. Will be able to buy himself just a little bit more time, but, of course, MSS just turns around. Oh, the laser beams.
He actually avoided it, but still.
Very, very close. Nice. He was trying to style on him.
Yeah.
A lot of reactions towards top.
Oh,
Limp, is he going to get sniped out here?
Jumping around, goes and uses that Astral Imprisonment, waiting for his dear friend SVG to join into the fight. The Shadow Wave comes out, but it's just gonna be wailing away at his face, and EOR gets himself a kill.
I don't know. It's obviously pro players know what they're doing and yada yada, but 1 point value point in Shallow Grave feels so good, man. It's just situations like that where I guess the logic is if I was gonna die, you know, delaying 4 or 5 seconds, whatever it is, may not save me in the end, but
yes, with the lack of true disables on forward though, there is definitely something to say for that value point.
And meanwhile, you know, down here, Rezo just happily hitting creeps, trying to get back up there.
He's gonna get a Midas. He will be a-okay eventually. And CompLexity, in spite of, you know, moving in very aggressively for the top tower, not getting really the reactions they wanted or needed. And I'm guessing that now with Ravage up again, they're going to be positioning for this mid tower. OD Hammer is down as well.
And they connects over on 4 Heroes. Tower's down though. SVG moving himself away. Var over here. Just continues to farm up, has a Force Staff queued up in his quick buy.
It is a very good idea to get himself with Dusk Shards with, avoid the Tide Hunter if it's on top of him.
yeah, you see some vision from CompLexity being pointed out there in that dire jungle. So they have some decent information on where they're at, and they've overtaken the dire jungle somewhat, but bottom tier 1 goes down meanwhile, and Resolution's had a lot of open space.
Yeah, he's getting that Midas.
He's very hard to hunt down. If you want to do that, they'd probably have to prioritize the blink on Batrider a little bit more. And right now, Monkeys is still playing with the team, although he is starting to slowly stack up his gold.
We have a blink on the Tide Hunter now too. This is going to be a big reveal. They can get the jump here.
Tank it.
Maybe it's going to be SVG. Monkey starts up the Firefly. They'll go with the Gush. And there's the lasso. Oh, the Ignis holding them in place though. Ravage comes out. He's going to be able to get... Oh, there it is. There's the split followed with the roar coming in from Universe. They're in for some trouble now. Miracle is trying to run himself out. He's not going to be able to do it. He's going to get taken down. And now they're focusing their attention over here onto the Tide Hunter with the Pandas. Monkeys forever being chased down by Rezo. He's doing his own little hunting spree over here. Death, though, getting slowed down. Monkeys, one more hit should do the trick. Should do the trick. And he finds that kill as they still continuously beat away over here at Death, but eventually he will fall.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That's a ill-advised chase in my opinion. There's the Brewmaster is one of your hardest targets to kill.
And it's a support.
And it's a position 5 support. Sure, they got the split out, but that's ideally where Brewmaster uses his split. When he's on the verge of death in a defensive fight where he can then use all of his delaying abilities to get the rest of his team in.
Yeah, Ravage was the... Lasso's one thing to go for a gank, you know, whatever, but yeah, using the Ravage right there did not make much sense from CompLexity, but forward, they reacted, and they turn it.
Yeah, MSS with the Will-O-Wisp at the last second, I think. It just bought just enough time where they could get that split off, and I think at that point, you disengage, but...
They blew the Ravage, you don't have any tools to disengage anymore. He went all in.
That's true.
So I hope in the future they're going to wait a little bit before they toss Miracle back into the midst of the fray like that. And yeah, as I said before, I think that Blink Dagger on the Batrider is going to come in really handy. He died now, so he was set back quite a bit. But since Miracle can jungle anyway, and you would much rather have, you know, this Dazzle pushing lanes, for example, I think you have time to give Monkeys this space on a lane.
It looks like Beastmaster's saving up those pennies to get himself a Shadow Blade too, so he's just going to be focusing here. I do like the aggressive movement though coming out from forward, making sure that they kind of infiltrate this jungle over here. Going to grab up that regen rune, of course, over on MSS. And we've got the Force Staff completed now for UR. He's going to be going for the BKB next.
Once he gets that BKB up, he is going to be extremely hard to deal with for CompLexity. They have no way to...
Oh, limp. The roar comes out. They follow down the Ignis. And it's gonna just be too late for that snowball.
At least he gets to roll his way on out.
Yeah, that's true. But he's not going too far with that Astro coming up. D3 bounce back here. And again, you are just getting up all these stacks. It's got 20, 24, and He will get 28 by the time Z-Freak collapses.
Man, if you're Complexity right now, push those side lanes because you are not going to want to fight into this OD at all. At least he's a little bit low on mana, but yeah. That man is gonna hurt if he drops the hammer on your face. Rough.
It's gonna hurt even if he doesn't drop the hammer on your face.
Oh yeah.
He's punching pretty hard with that orb.
Complexity are in a pretty rough situation now. They held the Void down early, but he is... Well, he's just been plugging away at this comeback. He's got a Yasha now. If he decides to join the fights, he's also got that Beastmaster aura for his attack speed, so he's gonna deal decent damage by now.
We have yet to see a Chronosphere too, might I
true.
remind everyone. That's how good these roars have been and how long these fights have gone on, is that you are just able to wail away on everyone and they can't get to the OD. They can't take them down.
Again, the strength of Luna is fighting together and taking advantage of her level 4 aura, which Complexity did, and they put some pressure out, but with that in mind, they were only able to get 2 towers out of it so far. We're still 20 minutes into the game. In fact, speaking of that, we've got a bounty rune fight now.
There's a Tidehunter standing nearby. I don't think they're gonna let him do much of that. Oh, okay, yeah, they even just go and drop the Sanity's Eclipse on his head.
Just for good measure.
Didn't need to do that, but you know,
that was...
maybe he was like, man, I haven't done this in a while. Let's just go for it. Why not?
Does feel good.
Makes a beautiful effect on the map when it happens.
Did you guys see what was queued up on Tidehunter just now?
Nope.
Yeah, he's been working on that for a bit, the Halberd.
Yep.
Do like that. I think that's a great idea.
It's a reaction to Faceless Void.
But again, like...
As was the OD.
Even OD too, yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it feels like this is the OD show and everybody else is just supporting actors. Gradually, Rezo going to be changing that around, but that's the one person that you fear right now, as you are. Obviously, because if they get that lockdown, he can get those instacks up. Well, I think we saw 28 last time.
Yep.
Didn't even drop that hammer. He just smacked people in the teeth.
He's going to have his BKB up for the next fight. I think that's also kind of why he dropped the hammer. He is not fighting anymore before he's got that item. The time he's got that item, the ult's going to be back up as well. They're going to either smoke or just straight up siege. And look at the farm on MSS.
Yeah. He's going to have a refresher. Pretty good timing.
That is going to be a big problem for the side of Complexity, because I don't think we've been seeing any BKBs just yet. All right, Luna does, yes, no, I think she's got that completed. Okay, so Luna at least has it now. But the rest of her team very susceptible to that Will-O-Wisp.
And they just got scanned doing this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, forward, they're already just kind of falling back. They might go for a smoke play themselves.
It seems to be the situation here. Nope.
Well, Brewmaster's lining it up. He is on cooldown. TPN.
All right.
There you go. Resolution doesn't care.
Nah.
Radiant's
He's Gucci.
is under attack.
He's not Midas. No passive Midases here. And that's a Manta style picked up for the Faceless Void now. Courier flying through. Look at how patient SVG is right now. Miracle wants to approach this wave. I know something's up now, obviously.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They're in the Roche pit, though. Oh, jeez. This is yeah. They've got the hawk goes over.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Spots out the Tidehunter. It's gonna be the dragon here, Will-O-Wisp. But again, he's got that BKB. He doesn't care. Follows up with the Chronosphere here. Limp in for some trouble. He'll be able to take down Z-Freak and Monkeys forever. BKB coming out from Miracle now himself. He's trying to run himself out. The body box coming out from MSS though says, yeah, no, I don't think so. And now they're gonna give a little bit of chase over here on the back end with those pandas. Limp trying to run himself away. There is a Tidehunter, but you know what? They go right into the bit. They said, wow, don't mind if we do. Let's take this nice gift that Complexity has left for us. And it's going to be Rezo who picks up that Aegis.
Did the blinding light push Tidehunter on the cliff?
Yep, sure did.
I was sitting there like, wait, how is he up there? Because, yeah, the Ravage never came out because he could never get position. So I guess that was the MVP of the fight. But
there was also a BKB up on Yawar, and he was sitting in the middle of things, dealing so much damage.
Yep.
There is
Radiant's top
not
tower
much they
is
can do.
under
Like,
attack.
Forward has this huge choke point fight lined up for, you know, the slightly later game. And by going for it, Roshan basically, at least they get a pick off onto...
Look at the Panda Bear.
Yeah. But he didn't have his split anyway, and I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that they lassoed him as well again during the last fight.
I'm honestly not sure who he lassoed. I didn't catch that. All I know is that he died pretty quickly on the Bat Rider as the Chronosphere came out.
Yeah, Monkeys was the first one down. And Z-Freak actually fought back during the last fight.
As Moxie was hyping it up, I mean, it was a very risky choice by CompLexity. Now, again, their team is built around that idea of sticking together and doing objectives, but you got to respect Forward Gaming and their ultimate being off cooldown, and it didn't seem like they were necessarily doing that. It was daytime, their vision wasn't necessarily the greatest. Like,
see you later, Z-Freak. Gets off a punch just for good measure, but not going to be able to deny himself to those creeps.
And Halber's up on the Tidehunter now. I just feel that if you want to be able to do that Roche there, then you should have gone the Medallion build on the Tide. You would have finished that by now. You might have been able to finish off the Roche fast enough in order to actually get it down before this huge team fight from Forward collapses on top of you. And instead they went for like the counter item, but they did not fight in a situation where they could correctly use that counter item. Or indeed wait until it was up.
Yeah.
We have a refresher orb on MSS.
Yep. Yeah, great just recovery across the board from Forward Gaming, especially Faceless Void, but also just farm on heroes like OD and how he's just consistently had a pretty good game. Clearly a comfortable hero for UR once again.
Yeah, I mean, we discussed this, right? Like, during the drafting phase, you said, you know, CompLexity, they've got some really strong lanes, you know, that's going to be a bit of a problem for Forward, but, you know, after watching Forward for not even just this qualifier, but for a while now, they're usually pretty good, especially if they get heroes that they're very good with, right? They're able to recover quite well. And so in this case, you know, we've seen him play a ton of OD. He's not concerned about this. Rezo, again, you know, he is going to become a beast in his own right, but like he's also a bit of utility just for UR to start getting off all of those, you know, arcane orbs and building up that int so he can drop the hammer. So it's an interesting... It's interesting to me that they allowed this OD to get through. I don't know. And granted, it's not all just the OD, but it is a big problem for them, for
it's
sure.
a big part of the synergy. Absolutely.
Tier 2 gonna fall. You see the arrows being drawn. Said, all right, they're gonna go right over here.
Yeah, Kado's gonna, that's what that was. He's gonna TP mid. Help maybe push out that mid lane, as OD's already there, in fact, to do so. And control the Radiant jungle. That's what that next circle marks.
Do you have a gem now over on the Bat Rider? We know that Monkeys likes to pick this up fairly early, try to gain some of this control back, or in other cases, you know, starve them out.
But in this case, it's going to be extremely risky. They see him.
Yep, they do. They use the roar. That's going to be the fastest trade-off.
Thanks for the gem.
On a gem. I've seen in a while now.
Oh, no, man.
Oh, the chat wheel lines.
That is just brutal.
And the perfect one, too.
Yep.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So, I'm doing my mental exercise again here. How does CompLexity get this game back? And honestly, their window has kind of passed. If you do this, if you want to play fast, you're usually going to be on a balancing beam. You know this. You need to play it very carefully. And that one engagement on top cost them so much in the long run.
Yep.
I imagine that what I would have liked to see was them going for the bot tower instead, where Limp is split pushing right now. But as of now, everything hinges on a good lasso, I think. If you somehow manage to get... I mean, if you get the Faceless Void, right? Then Yoar just banishes him. If you get Yoar, Void chronos you. If you get the Brewmaster, you don't kill him in time and you get counter-initiated on. It's looking extremely rough.
The positioning is just so good right now, too, when you think about it, right? That's something like CompLexity before. We saw they were very good themselves, being able to, you know, kind of split up and then jump back together again when the Omni comes out. And they'll go and they'll grab the Brewmaster. Ignis comes out, followed up with a nice Ravage, though, coming out from depth. The Snowball going to come through here. And the BKB, though, gets popped over here onto UR. Walrus Crunch will spend a little bit of time over here into the air, but the Luna is actually all just stunned up. And over here, we've got UR. He's just walking away over onto Z-Freak, drops that hammer. Going to be able to turn around, get even more here. Monkeys Forever already taken down. Limp's going to be taken down as well. He's going to buy back. Ignis doing quite a number right now on the side of CompLexity, and that's a triple kill coming out as Miracle gets slaughtered. Death, he's very, very tanky. He's trying to climb his way out here, and he's got 5 heroes banging away on him. But I don't know. They're just going to try diving. Right? Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, the shallows are coming out from Limp. Again, they cannot take down this watermelon. They just realized on the side of forward, they're like, why are we wasting time on this? Let's just hit the buildings. We got to buy back out of Luna.
We got to ban Coddle next game. It's really, like, that fight was showing us, we've seen so many times before, sure, but the double Will-O-Wisp, it's insane. And even just one of them, without the refresher, even just one can turn the tides of a fight like crazy, as it did right there. Now, you can argue, should they have even tried to go for that jump? And I think when they were down by as much as they were, you know, it seemed like a decent timing with the Aegis being taken away, and they were kind of falling back, so completely understand what Monkeys was thinking about there on the Bat Rider, but yeah, I mean, you called it before it happened, Kips. They have so many ways to react to even when you lasso in, and that's not changing. It's not like all of a sudden, oh, now there's time, because they still have imprisonment. You know, Chronosphere is not the longest cooldown. They have ways to react still, so.
Yes, ideally what you do against a lineup like this that really wants you to, you know, engage into them so they can react is you put up passive pressure. So you set down, I don't know, a Death Prophet or something, you establish your own area and say, all right, and now you engage into me with, well, that would, for example, force a Beastmaster to go a blink, or, you know, more mobility items on the other heroes. They might have to wait for engagement items on the Brewmaster as well, something like that. And then, you know, all of their saves, like at least one of their saves is going to have to be down just in order to engage into you, and then you can be the counter initiator.
But they ended up doing, they let them get the last pick OD. That's the other thing right there, is that they, for whatever reason, didn't think that it would be, maybe not a threat, but...
Well, like the OD was a greedy pick, and there are reasons to expect that the Dazzle can win that mid lane, right? Mm-hmm. So, really, I don't see... Like, I
just feel like at that point they couldn't adjust to you know, the threat that's on the board. So
I do think that it would have been a good idea to take the OD out. On the other hand, when the OD comes out, you know,
there's two of them down here. Universe, he was reeling up for it, but Limp gonna make it out. Now it's just gonna just summon out these all the animals. Finally uses the roar. Will just be able to find himself a kill on Z-Freak. Luna does pick herself up a butterfly though now, so she's starting to accelerate a little bit further. But I do feel like it's pretty scary. It's a lot of very big heroes on the side of Forward Gaming against one little Luna.
And that's the other adjustment that they could have made, right? They could have played much more defensively on CompLexity, go the full Glaives build instead of the Aura on Luna, and make sure that you farm her up real big before you go for anything. But then you got to hit a pretty delicate timing, because that will also definitely give, you know, the OD as well as the Void a good way back into the game.
Right.
Scythe of Vice finished for Yawar.
He's had that for a little while now, but hasn't had the chance to really debut it just yet. I'm sure that time is coming. The butterfly is getting slowly built over here on this Faceless Void, who has recovered incredibly considering what he was up against. Now top of the net worth, alongside his good friend OD.
I guess that's one way to do it.
It's time. It's, well, almost time. They've got to save up a lot of their pennies and their shekels for that. But I don't know about this. I guess, yeah, you know, 7-23 with a 21k net worth lead. Maybe you get the jump here, though. They use the Ravage. He'll follow up with the Eclipse, and he's going to try to dodge it. He makes it out. Oh, this is a disaster now for CompLexity. Will-O-Wisp coming through over on these players here, and they're going to keep using that cheap stick over there. Universe finding the kill over onto Monkeys Forever. Limp trying to run himself away. Now the Chronosphere going to come through. Poison Touch goes over on MSS, but what are they going to do? They've got the Ignis going on as well. They're going to be able to go drag back Z-Freak, although Z-Freak going himself into that bubble is going to get taken down. Miracle is going to crumble. Z-Freak now in for trouble, and Limp, he's got the shallow grave. He gets a bash. It doesn't matter. That's a dead Dazzle, and now Death going to go to his own death in a minute.
I was going to say, that seems like to me all in, we're going to call it GG if this doesn't work. And
that exactly was the case.
Yeah. I think, did Monkeys hold the lasso?
It was still up, yeah, he didn't use it actually.
I think he thought that Rezo was dead, but instead he gets to get out. I'm not even sure if they win that fight if if Rezo is dead, but
they blew everything too.
Yes.
Like Ricky said, you know, it was kind of like the Hail Mary, like, all right, this is our last chance. Let's see if we can do it, and it did not work.
Yeah, I always respect that play, though. I really think that a lot of teams who spend all that time sitting in the base, waiting for their death to come, you know, better do it like this, because this is the best chance you're going to get at a comeback. You know, if you pick off Rezo there, right, and for some reason not all of the enemy can be there, then maybe you get a couple of follow-up kills and you actually get yourself a shot at coming back into the game. Whereas if you wait for them to come to your base, the engagement is always going to be on their terms. So yeah, respect for CompLexity there for the way they end things, but in the end, yeah, a little bit like question mark about the draft, question mark about the engagement on top lane instead of playing it in one of various different other less risky ways. I do think they've shown that they can make a fist against forward, though.
Okay. Well, I mean, another thing too is that when you're starting to fall behind, like they were going desperation mode, right? We saw that a rapier was being queued up over on the Luna. Sometimes it's better to take your shot, and then, you know, if it doesn't work out, you realize, okay, we need to reset. We need to get a fresh brain for the next game. This game's over. Let's not drag it out too much. What do you think, Breaky?
Yeah, I go back to the OD. I think the OD was an issue, sure, but if I'm going into next draft and thinking about a hero that maybe to react about that could fit in many more drafts together, it's that Coddle. The Keeper of the Light, MSS very, very comfortable with it. And again, 1 Will-O-Wisp, let alone 2 Will-O-Wisps, which he had a refresher, what was it, like 20 minutes into the game? I mean,
yes.
How do you deal with that? So
poorly?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't feel like you do, other than just ban him going into game number 2. So that would be my one big adjustment from CompLexity. But again, as Kips pointed out, they definitely showed signs of life. They fought well, and we could easily see a game 3, in my opinion, with a slightly better draft.
All right, well, we'll find out what's going to be happening for the next game in just a few. We're going to go to a short break and see if we can get, you know, the score evened up.